Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Jokester. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. You guys definitely want to make sure you subscribe because I post videos that can help new players and informative videos about new unit reviews. And 90% of people that watch my videos aren't subs, so please subscribe. Today we're going to be discussing the new unit, Gyurelle or Gyurelle or G-Girl. Nobody knows how to pronounce her name, I have no idea. But I'm going to call her G-Girl for the whole video. She's a really good unit if you missed out on Storm Jean. But if you have Storm Jean, she's probably not as valuable. All right, we're going to start by looking at her passive skills. Every time I do a unit review, we're always going to start with passive skills because the passive skills kind of make the unit special. It makes it what the unit does. And then the active skills kind of complement the passive skills. And this unit is very confusing. Basically, if you have an ally that dies on the field, she has a chance to summon a duplicate copy of herself. And the odds of her summoning the duplicate copy go up based on how many allied reinforcements you have left, all the way to where she's by herself and she'll 100% duplicate. I'm going to give a quick shout out to Nizetto on Reddit because he gave me this information here. So you have a 25% chance if there are 3 or more units in your allied reinforces, and that's the whole battle. And then 50% chance if there's 1 or 2 units in your allied reinforcements, 75 if there's 1, and 100 if she's alone. So I've heard a lot of rumors that this kind of restricts her to being in your platoon 4. But if you don't have Storm Jean, then she can still be very valuable in your platoon 1. And her second passive skill is Mass Auto Life Flip, which is basically anytime any of the G-Girls get a turn on the battlefield, they will life flip. If they're less than 50%, they'll go up to whatever the difference is on the percentage. And that's for every G-Girl on the battlefield, every time one of them gets a turn. And it's automatically, it's passive, so that's pretty good. All right, now let's look at her active skills. I'm going to go all the way down to my turn first. It's a really good skill. It basically gives every G-Girl on the battlefield a turn, and it's used once, and then after that, it goes on a 300 TU cooldown, which is a pretty long time, but if the initial G-Girl that used my turn dies on the battlefield, then it will be unlocked again for all the rest of the G-Girls. And this can be really powerful because if you have 4 G-Girls on the battlefield, all 4 of them could use Doppelganger Raid 4 times, and that does 600% damage, which is amazing. Really good damage there. Her other skill is Dark Blessing. I've noticed she uses this in the very beginning of the battles while she's waiting for either a duplicate copy to come out or for her survivor to unlock. And this buff is pretty awesome. It heals an ally for 200% of the user's attack and gives them Enrage, which increases their attack by 50%, and Armor, which reduces incoming damage by 50%. So this is a pretty insane buff, and I noticed she targets guards in the beginning of the match. And her last skill is a basic attack, but it also includes Survivor. So if she doesn't have Survivor unlocked, it'll do regular damage. But if she does, if she's been on the field for 300 TU, it'll do 300% damage while giving 2 Spirit, which is pretty damn good. All right, now let's see her in battle. I said at the beginning of the video that if you have Storm Jean, then this unit can definitely conflict with it, especially in the P1. You can see here, the guard will die off, and I'll get a summon for G-Girl, and the Michaela will come in as well. But you see Michaela is sent to reinforcements, which sucks because Michaela and Jean really need each other to work well together. And here's a couple more examples of it happening. I'm not sure if this happens 100% of the time, but I did it 3 times, and every single time, G-Girl came to the battlefield while Michaela was sent to reinforcements. So that will kind of restrict your usefulness to your last platoon, which is P4. Here I set it up with only 2 platoons, just for the sake of recording the video. But remember, she gets a much higher percentage of resummoning herself if she has low remaining allied reinforcements. All right, now let's see her in action as your platoon 4, which again, I have her as platoon 2 for the video with only 2 platoons, but it's just your last platoon is what's important. All right, so she's on the battlefield here, and we're gonna see how many clones she gets. All right, she's got 1 right there. And there's a second one right there. And a third one, doing pretty good so far. You can also see a 4th one in the allied reinforcements. I'm not sure how this happened. If anybody can figure that out, let me know. But that's 4 clones already. Okay, and this here is kind of what you want with this character. You want 4 units of her on the field. And this could be very powerful. If she uses that skill My Turn, then all 4 of them get a turn right away. All 4 of them also get auto life flip every single time one of them gets a turn. So this could be pretty powerful to end your arena fights with. And this strategy is specifically for people that have Storm Jean, because again, you don't want G-Girl in your P1 messing with Storm Jean. And she's really good in the P4 because she gets a better chance of resummoning herself per ally death. Next, I'm going to show, for everyone who missed out on getting Storm Jean, this unit can be very powerful for you in your P1. You can see here I have all guards just to kind of test to see how many G-Girls I can get total. And remember, it's only a 25% chance to get a G-Girl to clone herself, but you can see here there's 4 already at the very beginning of the match. And this is kind of why she's valuable for people that don't have Storm Jean, because she has that same feature where if an ally dies on the battlefield, you'll get her passive skill to activate, which duplicates her. And we've had a lot of duplicate copies come in for this fight, but you can see here, she hasn't even gotten down to the last row of reinforcements, which if she would have survived that long, she would have had a lot more duplicate copies coming out. Unfortunately, she does die a little early in this one, but you can see we've already had like 8 duplicates come out, which is pretty good. I mean, even in P1, at 25% chance. So in the end, my overall review is if you don't have Storm Jean, she is definitely worth getting because she can be very powerful in the same way Storm Jean is, but not as powerful. And if you do have Storm Jean, she can still play a role in your Platoon 4 because from the testing I've done, she doesn't really have high hate until her duplicate copies start coming out. As her duplicate copies come out, her hate increases, which will cause her to get targeted more often. And it's also important to note that if you have a Mori generator unit in your battalion, it'll kind of mess with this unit because Moris will add to your allied reinforcements, which will lower her percentage of duplicating herself. And also, a Mori is considered a conjured unit, and you can't get a duplicate copy from conjured units. So if you do have her and put it in your 4th platoon, it'll limit the amount of duplicate copies you can get because her duplicates are considered conjured units as well, and there's a 0% chance to get another duplicate off the original duplicate, which is confusing. As opposed to having her in your Platoon 1, where she can get up to 10, maybe 12 duplicates of herself. Which, again, if you have Storm Jean, you don't want her anywhere above Platoon 4, because it will mess with the usefulness of Storm Jean. Anyway, I don't know if you guys understood all that. It's a very, very confusing and complicated unit to explain in a video. There's a lot of different factors to play in. If you have Storm Jean, if you don't, which platoon to put her in, and which one not to. Yeah, if you don't have Storm Jean, she's worth buying. If you do have Storm Jean, maybe not, because she's forced to your Platoon 4, which would restrict the amount of duplicates she can get. Anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. Please like the video and subscribe. And also share my videos in your guys' Alliance Discords, because that's a great way to spread my channel by word of mouth. And I can definitely use the more subscribers. All right, appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.